Vanga, the blind mystic of Bulgaria, and Nostradamus, the timeless French seer, spoke cryptic words about a dark event long before it unfolded. An attack born of fire and fury, striking where truth dwells, where 5 messengers of light were extinguished in a blaze of war. Their deaths were no accident, a thread in fate's complex tapestry. The vision of Vanga whispers of a sudden storm descending on desert lands. She saw shadows creeping over cities where words should flow freely. The 5 who fell were more than journalists. They were pillars holding the fragile balance between truth and silence. Their silence now screams across the fabric of time. Nostradamus's quatrains hint at a tragedy, bound to celestial alignments and human ambition. 5 stars fall beneath the vengeful hand, he wrote, words that echo eerily as if scripted for this moment. The 5 journalists were caught in the crossfire of hidden agendas. Their deaths a sign that history is being rewritten in shadow. Vanga foresaw a blackbird flying low over the lands of ancient conflict, its wings stained with the blood of truth-seekers. The bird's call silences the voices that challenge power. 5 lights vanished beneath its shadow, leaving a silence heavier than the desert night. Prophecy speaks not just of death, but of a warning carved deep into time. The massacre of these 5 journalists transcends a mere military strike. It ripples into the metaphysical, where truth and lies clash on a battlefield unseen. Vanga's visions tell of cosmic scales tipping, as if the universe itself mourns the loss of those who dared to witness. Their deaths shake the pillars of cosmic justice. Nostradamus's writings speak cryptically of fire from the iron bird, a deadly messenger whose path cannot be stopped. This fire fell upon those capturing stories no one wanted told. 5 witnesses to a brutal conflict, silenced forever, their fate entwined with prophecy's dark verses. The world watches, uncertain if this is a beginning or an omen. The seer suggests this was no mere accident or misstep. Vanga's prophecies call it a calculated blow, aimed not only at bodies, but at the very soul of truth. The journalists were warriors in a different war, their cameras and pens weapons against silence, their sacrifice a painful keystone in the arch of destiny. Nostradamus foretold a great shattering of voices in lands torn by ancient hatred. The 5 slain represent not just lives, but a fracture in humanity's fragile dialogue. Their deaths warn that freedom of speech may be the next battlefield. The prophecy compels us to look deeper, to seek meaning behind the headlines. Vanga's vision is layered with symbolism. The number 5 appears repeatedly. 5 lamps, 5 stars, 5 souls caught in a tempest of iron and fire. It is a cosmic pattern broken, signaling imbalance not just in politics, but in the very fabric of existence. The prophecy calls for vigilance and remembrance. Nostradamus's cryptic words suggest this event is a harbinger of wider chaos to come. When the blood of the truth-bearers stains the desert sands, the world will face the consequences. The journalists' deaths are a spark, igniting broader unrest. The prophecy is both a caution and a challenge to humanity's conscience. Vanga's haunting insight reveals these 5 were chosen, not by chance, but by fate's cruel hand to become eternal symbols. Their voices silenced, yet their message amplifies beyond borders and time. Nostradamus's ancient verses serve as a grim echo, reminding us that the past and future are entwined, warning of cycles repeating. The scriptural seers describe a cosmic tribunal where actions in mortal realms are weighed beyond human courts. The Israeli attack becomes a metaphysical transgression, an act recorded in the celestial ledger. The 5 journalists' deaths embody the eternal struggle between power and truth, light and darkness, silence and voice. Vanga saw in her vision a black raven descending not just on a city, but on the essence of freedom. 5 flames, symbolic of hope and courage, were extinguished in its shadow. The raven's flight is a dire prophecy, a call to awaken before more lights are snuffed out in the name of control and conflict. Nostradamus's verses paint the 5 journalists as guardians, pillars of clarity standing amid chaos. Their fall signals a darkening horizon, but even in prophecy, there is a flicker of hope. Their deaths inspire a collective awakening, a rallying cry for those who value truth above all. The prophecy becomes a guidepost in turbulent times. This prophecy is not just about death, but about what follows. Vanga's visions hint at a rebirth through remembrance, a phoenix rising from ashes of war and despair. Nostradamus, with his cryptic wisdom, hints at justice not yet served, balance not yet restored. The prophecy is unfinished, demanding action, reflection, and vigilance. The script's tone shifts, urging viewers to see beyond headlines, to perceive the hidden cosmic consequences. These 5 were more than victims, they are catalysts. The prophecy calls on us to break silence, to resist erasure, to carry forward the flickering torch of free speech against growing darkness. Their legacy becomes our burden and hope. Vanga's vision sees a fragile world teetering on the edge of silence and revelation. The 5 journalists' deaths are cracks in this delicate balance. Nostradamus warns that when truth is silenced, darkness grows, feeding on fear and control. The prophecy urges the world to resist this descent, to protect those who bear witness. The ancient seers remind us that history repeats, not as a copy but as an echo. The 5 fallen are echoes of countless others, silenced through ages, a somber reminder that freedom is never guaranteed. Vanga and Nostradamus beckon us to remember, to resist complacency, to fight for a future where truth is not a casualty but a victor. In the silence after the attack, the prophecy's voice grows louder. Vanga's whispered warnings and Nostradamus's cryptic verses urge vigilance. The world is at a crossroads. Will the death of 5 journalists mark the beginning of deeper darkness, or the spark that ignites a global demand for truth and justice? The prophecy suggests that these deaths are woven into a larger cosmic cycle, an ancient struggle between those who wield power through violence and those who seek power through truth. The 5 journalists became unwilling martyrs in this eternal conflict, their sacrifice etched into both history and prophecy, forever warning future generations. Vanga foresaw a time when truth would be attacked, not only by swords but by silence. The 5 slain were beacons piercing through the fog of propaganda and war. Their deaths serve as grim reminders that the path to peace is fraught with sacrifice. Nostradamus's writings reinforce that silence can become the deadliest weapon. The seer's visions highlight a paradox. In dying, the 5 journalists illuminate hidden realities more fiercely than ever. Their cameras and voices may have been silenced, but the truth they uncovered refuses to vanish. Vanga's prophecy suggests their deaths will haunt those who seek to hide the light of truth. Nostradamus's verses hint at coming reckoning. The fires that consume the truth-bearers will not burn forever. The 5 journalists' deaths are part of a dark storm, but that storm contains seeds of renewal. Prophecy calls on humanity to nurture those seeds, to transform grief into resilience and silence into powerful testimony. Vanga's vision is a call to collective memory. 5 souls taken in violence become eternal markers on humanity's conscience. Nostradamus's ancient words ripple forward, reminding us that history's darkest moments carry within them the power to awaken and transform. The prophecy is a bridge from loss to hope. The prophecy deepens, intertwining the mortal and the mystical. The Israeli attack that claimed 5 lives is reflected in cosmic mirrors. Vanga and Nostradamus suggest a shadow war playing out on earthly and spiritual planes. The journalists' deaths are not isolated. They are a symptom of a larger imbalance crying out for redress. Vanga's Black Raven is no mere metaphor. It embodies the spread of fear and suppression. 5 lights dimmed beneath its wings mark a turning point. Nostradamus's quatrains reinforce the notion of a veil being drawn over truth, but also hint at cracks in this veil. The prophecy hints that even the darkest nights give way to dawn. The narrative turns contemplative. These 5 were witnesses to untold stories, stories that powerful forces wanted buried. Their deaths speak of the peril that truth-bearers face worldwide. Vanga's and Nostradamus's prophecies warn that the cost of silence is eternal, urging humanity to honor the fallen by protecting those who dare to speak. Through prophecy, the 5 journalists become timeless symbols, not just victims of a conflict, but heralds of a crucial moment in history. Vanga's visions and Nostradamus's quatrains weave together a tapestry of warning, remembrance, and hope. Their deaths are a somber chapter in a story still unfolding across generations. The prophecy implores us to understand the gravity behind the loss of these 5 voices. Bab Vanga's words speak to a world on the precipice, where truth and violence collide. Nostradamus's verses caution that without vigilance, this collision will only deepen, eroding freedoms that many take for granted. Bab Vanga's vision frames the Israeli attack as a cosmic disruption, an act reverberating beyond immediate consequences. The 5 journalists, in their final moments, became unwitting martyrs in a battle that transcends borders. Nostradamus's ancient words remind us that such moments are turning points, where humanity's choices define its future path. The prophecy presses on with vivid imagery. A desert sky aflame, 5 stars extinguished yet glowing faintly still. Bab Vanga and Nostradamus converge in the vision of light, struggling against encroaching darkness. The deaths of these 5 journalists embody that struggle, a painful reminder that the fight for truth is eternal. Bab Vanga's words call for awakening. The prophecy warns that the shadows swallowing these 5 voices threaten to spread further unless resisted. Nostradamus hints at a reckoning, a time when suppressed truths will rise again. The deaths of these journalists become a catalyst for renewed commitment to uncovering hidden realities. In the prophecy's final arc, the 5 journalists' legacy transforms from tragedy to triumph. Bab Vanga's vision of darkness is met with the resilience of light rekindled. Nostradamus's cryptic warnings morph into hopeful signs, reminders that prophecy is not fate sealed, but a challenge to humanity's will and conscience. This prophecy stands as a testament. The cost of truth is high, but its price paid in silence is infinitely greater. The deaths of 5 Al Jazeera journalists under Israeli attack are more than a news event. They are a cosmic moment where history, fate, and prophecy collide. Their voices, though silenced, roar through time,